So in 1968, one of the most influential and brave sci-fi movies ever was released. It explored space travel, the dangers of technological progress, and man's possible evolution. That film was called 2001: A Space Odyssey. But if Kubrick and Clarke's ultimate trip was a bit too cerebral, thankfully that year also saw the release of the original Planet of the Apes.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Now, 1968's Planet of the Apes doesn't get enough respect these days. I think probably its 7 sequels, its mid-70s TV series spin-off and its ill-judged Tim Burton remake killed its once unique charm. Quick special mention to the more modern CGI-powered trilogy, which I'm a massive fan of. However, if you give this original version another chance and go back and watch it without distraction, I'm confident you'll find one of the greatest sci-fi films ever. Let's check it out. So Astronaut George Taylor, played by Charlton Heston, who, having already played Ben-Hur, John the Baptist and Moses, and who might as well play humanity's last hope, is on a mission that goes all kinds of wrong in space and crashes on an unknown planet with 2 of his fellow crew members.
Where's the soup? She's sinking! Dodge! Read the atmosphere!
They venture out to explore the new world, only to find they're on a planet where apes and humans have somehow reversed roles. Here humans are the subordinate wild animals, whilst apes are the highly evolved, intelligent rulers. So unfortunately Taylor is eventually captured and caged by the apes, and wouldn't you know it, his vocal cords have been injured so he can't talk, and so initially just seems like all the other primitive humans around him.
Will he live?
I don't know. This beast has lost a lot of blood.
Ultimately though, a couple of kind chimpanzee paleontologists, Cornelius, played by Roddy McDowell, and Zira, played by Kim Hunter, realise that Taylor is a little bit different from the others.
There! Can you believe it?
Yes, amusing. A man acting like an ape.
But unfortunately they can't convince the ape establishment, who want to put Taylor on trial and get him lobotomised. Ultimately taking pity on him though, Zira and Cornelius help him to escape into the Forbidden Zone, where the 3 of them will soon discover there is more to the planet than meets the eye. So Planet of the Apes was based on a Pierre Boulle novel, and yes, that is the same guy who wrote World War II epic Bridge on the River Kwai. And here, for a film featuring walking, talking, rubber-faced apes, it delights in packing in allegories of religion, racism, creationism, nuclear arms, war, etc.
Does man, that marvel of the universe, that glorious paradox who sent me to the stars, still make war against his brother? Keep his neighbor's children starving?
And yeah, while some of that subtext isn't always as subtle as it could be, certainly in its now infamously heartbreaking ending, which I won't directly mention in this video, but I'm sure you'll be aware of due to the numerous spoofs of it that have emerged over the past years and the fact that it's probably on the DVD or Blu-ray cover anyway. It's still effective and moves the film beyond what could have been a run-of-the-mill sci-fi action film. I mean, you only have to look at the Tim Burton misfire to see how not to do it. Now, I suppose Planet of the Apes could almost be categorised as a sci-fi horror in some ways. There's certainly some disturbing imagery to be found here. The early scene where the film dispenses with one of its female characters isn't exactly family-friendly.
Stuart? Stuart?
In fact, the entire first act, with the stranded astronauts wandering about the strange new world they've crash-landed on, actually northern Arizona, is really ominous and eerie, helped in no small part by a one-of-a-kind score by Jerry Gold. A big moment that used to scare me to death as a young kid. I love how you really feel Charlton Heston's frustration during the first half of this film as he struggles to articulate himself in this mad upside-down world. And you feel his desperation when he discovers his fellow crew member has been lobotomized.
Oh, they cut him. Did you know about this?
No, I swear.
But then... you did it. You cut up his brain, you...
It's a really good job that he has the outrageous Linda Harrison for company. As Nova, she doesn't get a great deal to do except try to remain in her minimal clothing. She's mute too, of course, and is there really just to serve as eye candy and as a sounding board for Heston's thoughts.
Do you love me, I wonder? Can you love, I wonder?
So Charlton Heston does a great job as a man pushed to the edge by confusion and frustration. And regardless of your political views on the actor, it's so good watching it in the scenes where he can speak, of course, take every line and chew it to bits through gritted teeth. Only Heston could give a performance that's as needlessly dramatic as this in the middle of a 60s sci-fi movie.
Shut up, you freak! Julius, you... I said shut up! It's a madhouse! A madhouse!
A close runner-up to Heston's theatrics is the wizened ape Maurice Evans as Dr. Zaius, still managing to project his commanding Shakespearean tones through piles of foam rubber makeup.
I've terrified you from the first, Doctor. I still do. You're afraid of me and you hate me. Why?
Because you're a man. And you're right. I have always known about man.
So Planet of the Apes truly becomes great as it enters its third act, and Heston and his new ape buddies venture off into the Forbidden Zone. It's here that most of the main characters must face some cold, hard facts about their history and their future. And as Heston and his new mate go searching for the planet's last mystery on horseback along a rocky shoreline, it does have a kind of mythic quality to it that no sequels, prequels or remakes have since managed to match.
What will he find out there, Doctor?
His destiny.
So the much parodied twist ending of Planet of the Apes, which the studio's spoilerishly taken the liberty of pasting onto DVD covers and Blu-ray covers in recent years, still has that apocalyptic impact and has extra poignancy in how it backs up Dr. Zaius, proving he has a point in this distrust of human race.
Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers, for he will make a desert of his home and yours.
So the real stars of the show are probably John Chambers and his team of makeup artists who created special ape masks for the actors that looks more real than anything seen up to that point. And yeah, these days they don't tend to stand up as well, but for me personally, there's a point where you just forget about it and get dragged along with the story. And the actors, of course, play their part in selling the whole thing. They manage to create real characters out of their apes, doing their best with what kind of minimal expressiveness they have. Amazingly, as the series needlessly dragged on, the makeup actually got worse. Now, 1968's Planet of the Apes is probably up in the top tier of science fiction films, a warning on mankind's inability to live in harmony and the threat of nuclear annihilation. And it has gorillas with guns, on horses. Go check it out.